Hey, I'm using a new recording app called Clean Shot. They've really upped their game. So this is an existing crawl space, and the homeowner wants to extend a bedroom out here. So this is 24 feet wide, and it's going to come out 20 feet. And since I'm using SketchUp, I thought I would try and do some neat things. Like, first of all, when you dig down to tie in the new foundation to the old one, you're going to epoxy some all thread into the existing foundation so that when you set your forms, this all thread will be embedded in the concrete so that it'll keep the new footing and new stem wall lined up with the existing. So there's that. Now, there's your forms for your footings. And when you pour those, you're also going to pour these. And what's cool is, if you take a look at X-ray, let's see. You see all the steel so far. You got 2 rows of steel in there. And the one thing I forgot is we need to put the verticals in the footing so that when you do your stem wall, they're in there. But you'll also need your horizontal rebar and your anchor bolts. That's pretty cool. I'm going to turn off X-ray for a moment. And we'll put the posts in, the sill plate. Guess we could run the beam and then put the top hangers on it. And then we could do the joists and the rim board. So we're getting somewhere. And then squash blocks. And I think the only thing left over here is subfloor. I'm going to turn that on in a minute. There we go. So we can kind of see. Now, the only thing that's frustrating me, I mean, I don't mind piece by piece, and I made the mistake of downloading a very multi-faced looking all thread. And you look at all those little faces. So I'm sure I've made this model way bigger than it needs to be. But the only thing that's really giving me a pain is something simple I hope they can fix. And that's like when I turn something off, there's a couple things that happen. Oh, I wish I wouldn't do that. First of all, like let's say I turn this one off, but I want to turn it right back on. Watch what happens. I turn it off and it jumps down here. So for some reason, there's a setting where all the active views are alphabetical to the top and all the inactive or whatever, the off ones are alphabetical to the bottom. So if I was in a hurry, I turn this on and I check it. I just want to go back and forth, back and forth. Well, if I click again, now I'm at the all threads in the footing. I'm not here. So that's the first thing I would like to do is, like, I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to put numbers in front of all these, which is not going to matter because as soon as I hide it, it's going to drop below all the active ones. So I want control over this. And it's hard to read that light gray. When I had that whole list and it was all grayed out, I had to actually kind of focus pretty close just to read that, whereas the rest of this is obvious. So I think what would work better, instead of it being light gray, you turn off this and it turns to like fuchsia or one of these colors that we don't use a lot, but not like glaring, maybe 50% transparency, something where it's, but that light gray is too light. It needs to be a little easier to read. And, or you know what? put a, well, no, that would, never mind. I'm good. I would like to be able to tell it not to reorder itself. I don't need all the active ones at the top. I want the whole list alphabetized. I want it to stay alphabetized. When I turn something off, I want to be able to turn it right back on. I want to know that the numbers are at the top of the list, whether they're turned on or off. See that? Boom, down there. I need to be able to go, I need to look at something and go, what does that look like? And sometimes I'll toggle on and off in other software just to kind of see if there's anything that jumps out at me. But other than that, man, SketchUp is fun. Man, it's fun. So I say y'all should just get on it, because SketchUp's not just crayons for kids. There's these guys out there like Nathaniel Wilkerson and John Brock and Aaron. He's on a lot of videos, and Justin's on YouTube. And I don't know these guys personally, but Matt Donnelly. I bought his book. I bought John Brock's book, hardbound, or not hardbound, but physical and on the iPad, just so that I could read it in the dark on the iPad, because these guys are racing forward. I love that. Nobody's just sitting around coasting. These are doers. So search them up and learn from them. So enough of that. I'm going to work on this some more. The existing house is 10 feet, and here it's 8 feet. And so same pitch truss will fit up under there nice. I've just really wanted a real world example to use SketchUp, because it's just so real. Nothing moves unless I tell it to move. Like if I did this in Chief, just to get these exactly where I want them, and then if I had to do any moving, a lot of times if you make the mistake of go reframe, it changes everything. And with Chief, you'd have to set a framing reference to get the joists to be where you want them. And on this, I just come over 16 to the center and then just go. Well, I hope you have a good one. This is going to be fun. I'll work on this next few hours tomorrow, the next day, and get her done. Have a good evening.